She Says So, brought to you by S&S Passat Supermarket and thebesttoys.com.
She's unstoppable. She's got the power to break the chains and make it louder. She says so.
Welcome back to our program, She Says So. Gashelle Jilts Edwards joins us on this episode as we continue to feature stories of amazing women who are blazing a trail. Her professional journey exemplifies resilience, determination, and a passion for making a difference, impacting community. But also, she has a background which will show us it's shaped in excellence. So it's no surprise the work that she's doing now to empower social initiatives which are creating a domino effect and hoping to create a better Trinidad and Tobago. Gashelle, how are you?
I am great. I'm really, really good.
Now, Gashelle, my first question would be about the diverse range of experiences and accomplishments. I looked at your LinkedIn profile. I know a lot of people shy away from sharing themselves on, but I feel like you deserve a share. You have this huge professional journey that has led you to the path where you are today. Let's start a little bit about that. How did it all start?
It started many years ago, although I am a young person. It started many years ago at age 13, being involved in youth groups, specifically within my community, and getting some awesome opportunities from persons who saw that special drive within myself and gave me the opportunity to really blossom.
You say it started at a very young age,
Yes.
a youth group. Is it at your parents or your family? What do you think kind of drive that initiative to, I want to do more than just be the normal teenage girl?
So I'm the first of four, so I have younger siblings.
Right.
So I was given the opportunity to take a leadership role in the household and to be in charge of my siblings. And my parents have always encouraged us to be very solution-oriented. So not to bring the problem, but to come with the solution of how we're going to tackle the problem, even if it's a small, disagreement amongst ourselves. And I really think that would have helped me to be able to transpose that solution-oriented approach to dealing with things in my community, which is the Bonaire West community, where I grew up, and to be able to use it in my professional capacity. So I really, when persons say, how do you manage all of this, or how do you get through, all of the challenges that persons get as a woman in the corporate workplace, I don't really see the challenges. I just see the opportunities to conquer something and, really get to some point of achievement and accomplishment.
You seem so driven and passionate about what you're even talking about it. Do you ever get burnt out?
I do.
Really? You don't seem like that.
I do. Actually, last year in August, I took a decision to step away a bit from corporate life because my daughter was preparing for SEA, and she started to say to me, "Mommy, I'm not seeing you," because my job is very demanding.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy my job, so I spend a lot of time also giving them a large majority of my work day. So when she had that conversation with me, I stepped away and I resumed in December. So that was I would be very honest, that was a burnt out moment where I did a bit of realignment and focused a bit on family and then came back with the fight that I have now.
You talk a little bit about when you were younger and you just kind of started with the youth group. Was there a defining moment that you saw something and said, I want to do social initiatives, I want to empower this community to do something better?
So yes, Hemo, at age 16, I would have attended, as a part of my youth group, I would have attended a youth conference that was held in McCoy. I can't remember the exact location, but at that conference, I came into contact with an organization called the BACAM. And that NGO would have given me a lot of amazing opportunities. When I met them, I was 16 years of age, and by age 20, I was leading the Atlantic LNG Point Fortin Finest Leadership Development Program at 20 for young persons within the catchment area who would have sat SCA and did very well. Yeah. And I wondered to myself, how did I even get an opportunity like that? But it all makes sense now. So I think that defining moment, I definitely would like to place it in that engagement with the BACAM, the NGO, which gave me an opportunity to do a lot of travel regionally to Turks and Caicos to do peer mentorship and so forth. And when it is I saw these people pouring into me, I said, I definitely want to replicate this and pour into other young persons. Yeah, so that is the defining moment.
It's interesting that a lot of people reach that point in life, but your background also has project management, strategy, in addition to sharing your life with the community.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the project initiatives that you're particularly proud of in your professional career.
Okay, so the first of which I will definitely say is the eye care project, which is still being delivered by the Environmental Management Authority. It is the first national recycling initiative, and I was able to win an IDB award for the People's Choice Award for service excellence in terms of getting young persons and the country as a whole to really engage in recycling and seeing the importance of waste management and how we look at waste as a country. My other most prized possessions in terms of my suite of projects will be the youth and agricultural projects, which I would have started at the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. They are namely the Youth Agricultural Homestead Project, the Youth Shade House Project, and the Youth Aquaculture Project. So I had the opportunity to start all of those initiatives, and now they're being properly well executed by program coordinators. But to get young persons involved in agriculture, because that is a very aging sector and field in terms of those with that skill set. So to get young persons involved in it so that they can, provide safe food, accessible food, and affordable food for us now and for the future, to me that is like the true sense of sustainability.
How do you look at a project and say, this is the one that I'm going? So you mentioned the eye care, then you mentioned a series of projects all linked to agriculture and youth.
Yes.
All challenging, because getting people to care about the environment where people don't necessarily see the tangibles immediately, and also agriculture with the food security system. How do you look at a project and say, this is the one that I know is going to make a difference?
Whichever project is given to me, I ensure that I make it into a legacy project. I must say that, because you don't go to choose which projects you manage. Those projects are assigned to you. But I would like to say that I trust in God that He's assigning these projects, because in a conversation with a professional colleague, I was saying to him that youth work is God's work. That's how I see it. Like, you're really doing God's work. You're taking care of His people. And one of my very good, I'll even refer to him as a mentor, he said to me, young lady, to work is to pray. And when he said that, I understood the assignment. And when you're working, you're really doing what God has sent you here to do.
You seem very strong in your faith. Is that from your family upbringing?
I won't say it's necessarily faith, but it is more a spiritual connection with God. But I'm a Roman Catholic and practicing Roman Catholic. And yes, my family, they are Roman Catholics and they practice as well. Yes.
When you look at networking and building relationships, reading some of the stuff on your LinkedIn profile seemed to be a very important part of your professional development. How do you move on as a woman? How do you maneuver that space?
It is challenging. I would be honest, because you are a mother and you are a wife, and a lot of times these networking opportunities are taking place outside of working hours, and you have to be very mindful of the relationships that you form with persons. But I maintain my integrity and my professionalism by, letting persons understand who I am and not compromising on that at no point. And my genuinity, persons gravitate towards it. They always say that to me. They say, when I have a conversation with you, I know where I stand.
Yeah.
No fluff. You keep it real. Yes.
You do keep it real. That's what, Gishelle, I know we have to take a quick break. And when we come back, we talk a little more about some of the projects. She's launched a number of projects listing IK and a number of the youth in agriculture programs that we've been seeing dominating social media. So Gishelle definitely has a story. And she said it all started at the tender age when she realized that she wanted to do bigger things for Trinidad and Tobago.
Best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, and bathtubs. Visit us in store at First Floor Movingtown Port of Spain, Forces Flagship MacBean, Eastgate Mall Trin City, or shop online now. And remember, we have the best for your baby at the best prices.
SNS Passage Supermarket comes to St. Mary's Freeport with the wide aisles of variety, quality you can trust, a community hub, and loyalty rewards. When I say they have everything. They have everything from your fresh produce, your wines and spirits, your butcher meat, seafood, bakery. You name it, they have it. And with these prices, trust me, you're guaranteed to save some money in your pocket. So come on down and shop today at the brand new SNS Passage Supermarket, St. Mary's Freeport.
She's unstoppable. She's got the power.
She says so. Gishelle Edwards is here, continuing her conversation with us. She holds a very prominent position in a senior government position in one of the largest ministries, charged with the responsibility of directing youth. So that in itself is a big task. But in addition to that, she's an entrepreneur, business owner, mother, wife. I think I told her must have more than 24 hours in it. Gishelle, you run national campaigns. As a woman in leadership, steering a national committee or national rollout, what are some of the challenges that you face sometimes? A very young woman, let me add this.
Yes. So what I would say, as I said before, I don't look at them as challenges. But one of the opportunities that I'm faced with is to really get young people to get that same level of drive and motivation that I possess. You know, we have really done a lot of injustice to them in terms of not giving them opportunities. But now at the Ministry of Youth, where they get the opportunity to really lead, to be a part of, to contribute, you know, some of them are shy because our systems don't really encourage them to have that, you know, braveness to speak out and to really participate and contribute. So now getting those persons to be motivated, you know, sometimes it's a bit of a challenge, but once they get on board, the energy is infectious and they are ready to rule, they are ready to lead, and they're ready to go with their ideas.
You work with the Ministry of Youth. Do you feel that as a natural alignment to your core purpose in life?
Oh, for sure. I have a saying, it's catching on now on social media. It is, if not youth, then who? And I truly, truly, truly believe that, because if we don't give them the opportunities, if we don't pour our resources into them, our time, our focus, then we're not preparing Trinidad and Tobago for the future. We are not preparing our country to grow. So my focus has been youth, and I truly believe that that is like a special assignment that has been placed on me.
God-given assignment.
Yes, when persons interact with me, it's like, where you get this energy from? And it's like, I've been waiting on this opportunity all my life. Yes.
No, you know, diversity, equality, equity, and inclusion seem to be a big part of who you are. You know, you talk about youth. What are some of the things programs or strategies that you've done to ensure that there is inclusion?
So at present, my portfolio is the National Service Coordinator. And many times persons believe that that is only the military-led programs, but it's wider. And it deals with us understanding all that our Trinidad and Tobago has given to us and what we need to do to give back to Trinidad and Tobago and to future generations. So at present, I have programs such as the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program, the Retiree Adolescent Partnership Program, CCC, MyLAT, MyPAT, Transition Homes, which are homes for persons who are leaving state entities and transitioning into their independent living. We have CHINS, which is Children in Need of Supervision, a wide array of programs, but they are all designed for us to not only receive all of the trainings and the grants and all of the special opportunities that the government and the state and the people of Trinidad and Tobago is providing, but also for us as individuals on multiple levels and as organizations on multiple levels to see how best we can give back to our country for future generations to benefit.
Entrepreneurship and innovation seems to be a big part of what you do as well. Can you share some of the entrepreneurial ventures or the things that you say, you know what, I did that and I'm proud of it?
So you want to get in my business now. So I have a store called Modish,
Right.
and it sells corporate wear for women.
Right.
Many times in the workplace, I would have seen these men dressing up with their socks and their ties matching,
Yeah.
and they're looking all fresh because they don't do much at home. And I will see the professional women, you know, just hustling to get to work, not focusing on themselves. And then I said, you know what? I want women to feel good about themselves while doing good in the workplace and, you know, motivating younger women. So I'm going to definitely invest in this store where I'll provide affordable designer clothing for them to dress well in the workplace. So I have Modish. And it speaks to women visualizing their power, because we go to school and we study really hard,
Yes.
but we don't look the part all the time. So I want women to feel good and look good. And then I have another organization called the Love You Art Studio, and it is using the medium of art for young persons and elderly persons, for everyone to be able to express themselves, their inner love, on a canvas in a very relaxed and entertaining way.
I feel like your day has more than 24 hours in it.
I feel so too.
I think that I really do feel that.
So I have this strategy. I think I looked it up online, where it is I split up my day into 4 parts. And the first 6 hours, which is from midnight to 6 o'clock, is sleep time.
Right.
And then from 6 to 12 is getting my 2 daughters ready and getting ready for work, and what I get done in the first half of my workday. Then from 12 to 6 is the second half of my workday, where I get most of my corporate job done. And then from 6 to midnight is business and some family. So I have like 4 days in a day.
I think that is exhausting even listening to it.
I'm like 4 days in one day.
What motivates you, Gishelle, to continue pushing boundaries? You have an impressive corporate portfolio. You have a very important position at the Ministry of Youth, but you also are a businesswoman. You're a mother. You're a wife. You are a daughter. You're a daughter-in-law. But you continue to push. What do you think is driving you to do that?
I will be honest, 2 things. One, success is addictive. When you see you put in the effort and you see results, you say, wait, I could do this? And you just continue doing it and doing it and doing it. But even on a bigger scale, I have a lot of people that look up to me. So recently, one of my past team members, she sent me a very touching message. She said, I want to be just like you. And I was like, wow, that's a major responsibility. I hear my daughters say it, but I'm their mom.
Yeah.
So obviously they will say things like that. But when other people are actually looking up and, they want to be mentored and motivated, you cannot drop the ball. I cannot take that lightly. So I have to keep pushing.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, she says so. Gishelle is pushing the personal, professional, every boundary, every barrier put in her way. She sees no challenges, but the opportunities and the solutions. I'm going to take that away. But when we come back, we talk a little more about her professional journey, mentorship, which seems to be a big part of her life.
Are you looking for a customizable studio space with green and white screen cyclorama and professional production equipment to carry out your next big project? SGP Studios is the perfect fit for you. TNT's largest studio space with an overhead lighting grid and sound treated, perfect for television commercials, music videos, television programs, social media content, and film productions. We also have a wide range of production equipment available for rental. You can choose from a selection of Netflix approved cameras, modern lighting equipment, professional audio gear, 40-foot and 20-foot cranes, gimbals, drones, lenses, action cameras, and more, all at competitive prices. Whether you need a high-end cinema camera for a feature film shoot, specialized lighting equipment for a music video, or audio gear for a podcast, we've got you covered. And with our easy online booking system, you can reserve the gear you need in just a few clicks. Check us out online at sgpstudios.com.
SNS Passage Supermarket comes to St. Mary's Freeport with the wide aisles of variety, quality you can trust, a community hub, and loyalty rewards. When I say they have everything, they have everything from your fresh produce, your wines and spirits, your butcher meat, seafood, bakery, you name it, they have it. These prices, trust me, you're guaranteed to save some money in your pocket. So come on down and shop today at the brand new SNS Passage Supermarket, St. Mary's Freeport.
She's unstoppable. She's got the power.
She says so. Gishelle Edwards is here, continuing her conversation with us. She holds a very prominent position in a senior a senior government position in one of the largest ministries, charged with the responsibility of directing youth. So that in itself is a big task. But in addition to that, she's an entrepreneur, business owner, mother, wife. I think I told her must have more than 24 hours in it. Michelle, you mentioned not dropping the ball and people look up to you, but obviously mentorship seems to play a big part in who you are. Tell me a little bit about how those persons may have shaped who you are today.
So the first person I want to speak about is my mom. She is definitely a motivated and committed woman to her children. So she poured a lot into me. I have 2 younger sisters who just graduated as doctors, who I'm very, very proud of. So that is my proof in the pudding that, that mentorship that my mom gave to me and that I gave to them, that it works. It definitely works. But I'll be honest that the Lord has strategically placed some key persons along the journey in my life. And I'm really grateful for all that they have done for those various stages. And I try to, really pull from all of the positives that they have offered me and allow it to pour into me so that I could pour into others.
Did you have a point that you had to refocus? I mean, we spoke about the professional burnout, but you seem so optimistic. But most people get setbacks in their professional career. So let me ask you the other thing. Was there ever a point that you got put down, you got let down, that you're like, I don't know if I can continue doing this, and what made you continue?
So many times people think that I don't ever face any hurdles in life.
The way you act, I could fall into that category.
Yes, people think that all the time, but I really don't look at it because I see it all connecting. Thereafter, like it all makes sense. The picture of the puzzle will just fit together perfectly afterwards. So it's like, you don't look at it that way. You just focus on the positive side of it and keep pushing. So for instance, we were speaking about SCA, I didn't pass for my first choice. I didn't pass for a prestigious school, but now it gives me the opportunity to really point to persons with that background. So when I speak to them, they could definitely connect with me, but I wouldn't have that artillery to pull from if it is I didn't have that experience. Yeah. So I just really, look at it as something that I'll need in the future. Even if I think it's a setback in the moment, I'll be like, okay, I'll get back to you. I'll have to pull on you at some point in time to keep pushing. Mm-hmm.
Professional associations and those sort of professional programmings and continuing the career development. Tell us a little bit about some of those that really do play a part in who you are today.
Professional associations. So at present, I'm part of the Project Management Institute Southern Caribbean chapter. I keep my connections with all those civic organizations that I've been a part of. So like the National Administrative Association, because it adds value to who you are at any time in your life. Who is your administrative team to be able to execute at an executive level. Which other professional associations I'm a part of? Can't think of any other at this point in time, but I really pour into organizations. So schools invite me to speak, so I get to contribute on that level as well. Can't think of any professional associations at this point in time.
How do you define success?
How do I define success? As a series of failures that you continue to pick up on as you go along over and over and over. And you cannot look at it as fake. Honestly, do not look at it as failures at all, but look at it as opportunities to move forward step by step by step. But let me say something to you, Hemo. Success to me will definitely be the summation of all of your life opportunities and how you treated with it. That's how I like to define it. Because many times young people speak to me and they share with me different experiences that they are going through. And I may not have gone through that, but it is the same formula to look at the silver lining in that opportunity, and even how small it is, to use that as the seed to move forward.
What advice do you have for all the young women looking towards you today? And what do you say to your daughters?
That God has a bigger plan. So you may think that you're in charge and you may think that you're making these decisions. You really not to know. You're just playing your part in this whole story. And once you, in whatever capacity that you are at, play that role well, you are well on your way. So even if you're at this stage and you want to get to that stage, you just perform really good right here. And he just opens up the doors because the things that have been afforded in life, him, I could not have done that through my own will. I'm not a magical person. But when I look back, I'm like, how did that even happen? How did that even take place? It's not me. So it's a greater force that I truly believe in.
I feel like God brought you here to remind me to be a little more positive. I feel like that's why we're having this conversation. Shall, I know we've spoken about so many things. You are so young and you've launched so many campaigns. What's next for you?
What is next? To continue playing this role well and trust in God that next stage is going to just present itself to me. Because I really want to ensure that whatever I am doing, that I set the right standard so that whoever fills that space while the Lord progresses me, that they understand what is your role and responsibility here. Too many times I find like society always pressures us to look forward, and we're not even experiencing and enjoying what we're doing at present. It's only like afterwards we look back and said, I had fun those days. But you just really need to live in the moment and do what you're doing right now really well. And I enjoy helping these young persons fulfill their truest potential. We recently launched the National Mentorship Program. So we're going into various schools. I went there this morning. So we're going into various schools and having conversations with young persons. I don't want to miss out on the joy and the bliss of that, focusing on what next year will bring or next 2 years will bring. I really want to just soak in all the enjoyment and prepare a great space for my daughters and other young people to enjoy with the future.
Well, definitely people like you in charge of there. Michelle, I'm pretty sure that we will create a better space. We've come to the end of this episode. If she says so, stay with us every single week. We bring you stories of women who are writing their own chapters. They may be redefining the rules, but they are making sure that their book and their story inspires others.
She's taking control. She's gonna rise up. She's gonna make you know.
She Says So was brought to you by SNS Passad Supermarket and thebesttoys.com.